Happy Tuesday, everyone, and welcome to your daily lighting critique. We have our normal list of images and videos to go through. So let's go ahead and we're going to actually start. Let's go ahead and start with the video. Let's start with Cats or the Hotel California. We got the progress here. So let's just play this through. So just to be clear, these are temp characters from Cat. Cat, do you want to talk through what we're seeing today? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cool. I think what you're doing by adding this which we call it, these like temp characters is a really smart idea. I think it's good to do that because there's no way of really like it's a good approximation of what will be there. One of the things that I'm noticing is there's some interesting there are points where, like, I'm looking at this lamp over here where there's like, I don't know if it's casting shadows. Like, I see that it's got internal stuff, but the way that the light is hitting the wall, and then like how bright this that is compared to what the wall is, and like not seeing a little bit of the shadow underneath there. I would just keep your eye on that, because there's that, and then I was noticing this too, where there's like back behind this bookcase. I guess that's not true. I guess this one's the light there, and then that's on that wall over there. For some reason, it was looking like it was back behind it, but I think it's just an optical illusion. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Can you change the shader of the lampshade so it looks like it's glowing? Mm-hmm. 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 Got it. And then the other thing I was thinking too is that with these red lampshades and with a lot of the warmth in the room, and the way that tungsten light is, I think they would be a little bit. I think there would be more warmth in this room. So because it's kind of like a warm light source shining through a warm lampshade. Man, that's tough to say. Um, and then in terms of the characters, I think his face, in terms of illumination level, actually feels pretty good. It's going to be difficult if we keep these pillows white. That's going to be tough, because now we're asking, like, we might want to design it so the pillowcases are a little darker to make sure that the face pops off. I do think that we could probably go a little bit brighter on her face, and then once you get the final characters, it's like when we're seeing it at this angle, it's really important to get the gaze point lined up correctly, so that, like, she's looking at him, and instead of just wondering why he brought that sword into bed. Like, what's the plan here? And then mhm. I think the lampshade looks good. I think that the wall I'm not seeing it. It's and really what it is I just really love it when wallpaper has more than just color variation within it, when there's actual like tactile variation within it. Like when the pattern, maybe it's a little raised, maybe it's a little more specky, maybe it's a little more this or that. Like when there's actually like a real difference between what we're seeing. And you know, like it just creates it, makes it a lot more dynamic, and you see that a lot with like older Victorian era stuff, and this pattern kind of look like that. It also, like, I don't know, it also feels like once we get this close to it, the resolution starts to break down a little bit. So either that or just angle the camera slightly so we're not, or like hide it with something too. There's ways around that. Mm-hmm. The one thing about this rack focus, I would actually so usually that's when you're like focusing on one thing and shifting it to something else. Like if we were closer to them and we were focused on him and then focused on her or something. The thing about this one is that it's kind of not focused on anything at first. It's just like it's just like, so I think I would keep it just keep the focus tight, or like just keep it on them. And then we could probably, this is a long thing, and if you wanted to explore some rack focuses, I'm sure there's other opportunities to do it. Or like I said, you know, even keep this angle, but just change the lens to be a little bit more telephoto. And then we could just be like on him and then on her. That would be cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, wider angle lenses will have less depth of field than telephoto ones. Also, watch out for this bright line happening over there. I think, actually, yeah. I'm not sure what that is. It's fine. Mm-hmm. Also, what's this dark bit in the pillow here? Ah, got it. Got it. Yeah. Oh, I see the speck in the. Yeah, I see the speck in the wallpaper right in here. But it's just that it's hitting everything. Like I just kind of want like maybe either the red or probably the red to be the speck and the white to be more matte, if that's possible. So, yeah, cool. All right, great. All right, let's hop over into. Actually, before we move on, was there anything else in the stills, or was that all? Yeah, it looks like the same. Okay. Got it. All right. Oh, yeah. Mm. Yeah. It's also more that like IES profiles are just a little bit more robust, and because they're provided by the actual light manufacturers for architectural renderings, and then you can just pop them into any renderer. So they're probably taking. Yeah, I think that's a really good point. I assume so. Yeah, I mean it's just the data that's calculated. So like. They were originally created, from my understanding, they were originally created for architectural visualization and things. And so it's like, hey, if we use this lamp versus this lamp, blah, blah, blah. But they're great, and they provide realistic throws of light patterns on the wall. And they will, like, from my understanding is, I don't know what's actually in an IES profile. I think it's more than just a Gobo map. I think there's actually like it actually changes intensity values and some color value. Like I think there's a little more depth to it than that, from what I understand. So yeah, long story short, that's a really good call on getting those on the wall. All right, cool. All right, Aaron, let's take a look at. We've got a couple submissions from you. Let's start with these guys. So we've got some cooler environment stuff in there. I think it looks pretty nice. I think it's a little bit bright, but I would take down those cooler elements. I think the amount of it that's in the scene is right. I think that it's too intense. I think that it might be a little bit saturated and a little bit bright. So it's just like it's just like a nice small amount would be really good. Oh, for sure. Yeah, you can pull. Yeah, it's easy to pull back. So we've got this darker. Things look good. Lens flare. Are you planning on doing these as stills or animation in the final presentation of this? Okay. Yeah. I wasn't gonna like, it could be obnoxiously a lot, but it could also just be like this on this particular frame, so I wasn't gonna fret too much. Yeah. Mm. Is that something that's like pre-baked into Unreal? Like if you just have. Okay. Mm-hmm. Listen, I don't think lens flares are bad, especially when you're looking directly at a light source. Like it's kind of what happens. I just think that the only times I would shy away from them is when it's not that, like when you're not looking into a flashlight or not looking into a headlight or not looking directly into a fire. But as long as those situations, like, it helps, it definitely helps. So I wouldn't shy away from it too much. Yeah. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's interesting. Yeah, because like, right, because at that point it's a texture map, right? It's the same as that. All right, cool. Yeah, no, I think the rest of it's looking. I think the rest of it's looking really good. I love the like focus on the center of the room and the fact that the light kind of fades off as we go down this way. We've got the coolness back over there. It'd be nice, even if we cool this down, it would be nice to get find a reason to get a little rim light on these statues to kind of help define their shape a little more, because they do get a little bit lost. And so having that cool light in there, you could put a cool rim on the back of them and that would be like totally plausible. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, you could like even pretend like there's other fire pits in those little nooks back behind them there, and like that's shining light. I don't know, just because, like I said, just to read that shape out a little bit, and then you can make those warm. Yeah, yeah, because I think this is enough back here to imply. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. stuff. Yeah, same notes across the board. This area looks really good. This screen right area with the... It all looks really nice. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, but the thing that's nice about this, about the way that you all have learned other lighting and are approaching this, is it sounds stupid, but it's easier because you know what you want to achieve and you know specifically what to search for. The challenge with this stuff is like just looking and be like, I don't know what's going to make this better. Like just being like, this isn't the way that I want it to look. But like you're already identifying the things that that's where like real improvement comes from. That's great. It's very cool. Yeah. All right. This one's yeah. I think this is looking pretty good. I was expecting the light over here to be a little bit warmer. I guess it's pretty neutral over there. You could even, again, if you're in there playing around, you could even try a light over here that's like the light from this thing too, and because then that might be kind of cool, like where everything's just kind of stacked up here in the foreground. But I don't know. I mean, because right now compositionally everything's pretty right side of the image heavy. Like that might balance it a little more. You can play with it and throw a light in there. I think the cooler looks good. This guy right here still feels a little bit lifted. I don't know what it is about it. I just want to go like this. I just want to take it, and like maybe it might be ambient occlusion or something, adding that in there. But I just want to take that and just like darken just that box down a little bit. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean, but other than that, I think this is all looking pretty good. I think you've got this rolling along really nicely. All right, cool. Yeah, you're very welcome. All right, Alfredo. Actually, I don't think Alfredo's here. All right, Alfredo, I'm going to skip you for just a second because I want to get Ashley, Austen, and Justin because they are present in case they need to get going. Ashley, very impressive that you were able to get this. I think the lighting on the character looks really good. I think it looks a lot better. Yeah. I think that like just makes her a little bit more dynamic. Her leg feels a little funny. I don't know. How do you feel about it? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That looks really cool. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. My... It's funny. I mean, like I said, you guys are amazing. I haven't had a chance to play around with Unreal yet, but I love like some of the problems that come out of this. Like, yeah, that light, it's just like tied to the other one, so it's like you just can't turn it off. You're like, oh, I didn't. Okay, cool. Like, yeah, it's funny. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I think yeah, it's just a different goal. Like you said, it's just the goal of saving memory. Say, you know, like because from a gaming perspective, I mean, you all know this better than I do. It's all about like being able to play in real time, and any sort of like lagginess or any sort of like frame rate issues like will just drive people crazy. So I think it's like, you know, optimizing for gameplay is just like the basic setup of this. Um, So I think I got halfway through saying this without finishing. My favorite part of the image is the color in this painting on the side. I think that looks so cool. I think that's like, it's like the perfect amount of like of it sprinkled in to give like the idea of it without. Yeah, I just think it's great. I think that's really cool. The reason I was playing around with her contrast level because I feel like there's a little bit of like there's a lot of light wash coming in from these from the flames, and it's kind of like. It would be nice if we can get a little more contrast on her. I don't know if there's a way of toning that down slightly to kind of isolate them tighter around these. Just because like her dark point has gotten so lifted by this flare over top of her, or the light glow over top of her, that I almost just like want to scrape that off of her just a little bit, if possible. Mm. Just yeah. If not, yeah, there's nothing you can do about it. But that's fine. I was just throwing that out there as a possibility. I almost yeah yeah. I mean, I accepted that as like, oh, in my head, and like that's what fire looks like. It's just so bright. Like, I mean, again, like think about what the exposure is for. The exposure of this is hitting the midtones somewhere between the bright outside and the shadowy inside. Like, if we're able to see a little bit into these shadows and stuff, like that exposure level is not set for a flame, which is magnitudes brighter. So to me, that totally makes sense. The one thing that I'm not crazy about is this kind of dark halo that's right around it. I would rather, let's see. I would rather there was like, I don't know if this is gonna work, but basically, I like that kind of perfect circle around them. It makes it feel a little artificial because I don't think that would happen visually on this. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's the word, but I don't know. I don't know if the right one is. The other thing I'm doing over here is I think we can get away with this ground being different than the ground up here because I think it would be really nice to darken this to allow us to see more of this wall. Because as of right now, like that's kind of the bright point and our eye kind of goes down there, but there's really nothing to pay off. So I think if we darken just the material on that floor, we could focus a little more on there. Ah, this is cool though. This is looking really good. All right, great. All right. You're very welcome, Austen. We've got our other version of our woman in the window. Do you want to talk us through a little bit about what you're like? Because we've seen the reference before. Like, what are you focusing on now? Like, what was your update from this previous version? Mm-hmm. I think no. I think it actually. No, I can see it a little bit in there, and I think it's nice. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Did you add more bump on the skin, or is that just from the resolution increase? Probably just the resolution. Yeah. I really love the bump on the skin. I think the pores are a little bit too large. I would try and scale them down if you could. Just because now that we're seeing them a little more. But I love that they're there. I want to see. So first off, I think there are some components in this that are really, really strong. Like, I love the way her shirt looks. I love the way that her skin looks on her torso. On the key side of her face, I think it's looking really good. I wonder, we might be even able to go a touch brighter on the key side. Do this. And I'm wondering if we can't, like, just a little bit more. And the other thing I was going to say was, I love how, just like a little bit more key on that side. I just love how soft this feels. Like, it's just like it's a very calming thing. And then additionally, I brighten the key side up. I think I'm going to brighten it kind of overall right now, but I think same deal, like kind of with that last one, just getting a little bit more kind of like speck light in there. Man, that's really going to be finicky. The value on this character of her, let me do it this way, of her shadows is so tough, because it's like you've got just like actually, that's funny. The value might be okay. It might just be a matter of getting a like, because you can see when I was just darkening it, it's just a matter of getting some more contrast in there, I guess. Because like the value that you have in there right now, the kind of blue, it might be hard to see on your end, but like the blue grays kind of sneak up into her ear hit there. And I feel like it would be a little bit darker here and then a little bit brighter on the outside. Not much. It's very, very close. But this overall, this is all very, very, very close. But I think everything else is good. Do you all have any thoughts on this? I think her eyes look amazing. They're like mesmerizing. She looks very enchanting. This is a really nice take on her. Yeah. Yeah, you should be. I think that looks great. This actually, now that I'm looking at it, this right here, if you could bring, I don't know if it's possible, this area right here, if you have this rendered as an EXR, in Nuke, I would just roto that area and bring down the exposure a touch, just on her skin, because the shirt looks great. It's just like that part of her skin gets a little bit bright. But yeah, really great stuff. All right, cool. All right, we will hop over into Justin's, and then Theo, and then back to Alfredo. All right, Justin, beautiful. This is looking great. Maybe it's just because we looked at some bright images earlier. I just want to take. That's pretty much all I want to do with it. I just want to do like just a minor color tweak there, and just kind of brighten it up a little bit. But other than that, I think it looks great. What do you guys think? Or Justin, what do you think? How are you feeling about it? Yeah, I think it's really nice. I think this is a sneaky hard shot, because there's a lot going on in here, and there's a lot of opportunities. Like I've talked a million times about how hard the snow is, but there's also a bunch of other little stuff, and you created a really, really balanced image, which is lovely to see. I would say just make those tweaks. You can even do it just like I did in Photoshop here, or something like that. But I think it's all looking good. Yeah, everything else is really nice. All right, cool. Great. All right. Yeah, no problem. Sorry, that was really short. All right, Theo, and then we'll go back to Alfredo. Theo, this is coming together so well. I got to find your original post on this, because I think you've made so much good progress. It's so cool to see. We're getting much closer now. We got some good spec coming across the chest here. We got the good spec on the side. We've got good brightness on the face. Got an argument could be made that we could add a little more fill to the screen left side of his face, but that's really where we start to get more into a style thing. And same thing like down here, maybe just like a little bit more of that cool, like the cooler tone from the sky in there. But honestly, that's like I said, more stylistic preference. Like, do you want to go to like the cartoony side, or you want to make it more dramatic? I think the biggest thing I would do at this point, I'm looking at two things and I'm debating one of them. So one of the ones I'm debating, and I'll actually, if you guys could chime in and help me out with this. So this kind of subsurface on the wing down there, I almost just like want it to be dark down there. There's something about it that I keep like drifting my. Do you guys like it? Would you rather see it dark? Do you think it's like, does it bother you? I would really like a second take on this one. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, so maybe just darken it a little bit and just kind of warm it up just a touch. That's a good call. I like that, because then it's like a good balance of both, right? Like it's still there, but not, but not quite as eye catching. All right, I want to do one thing real quick, and then the other thing that I think that you should do is I think you've got a really nice. I think you were very smart to keep a nice softness on the background, but keep the character a little bit with less diffusion on it. But I think we're in a place now that this is looking pretty good, where you could add a little bit of diffusion to the character to kind of, because like there, of course there's haze in the scene, and we don't want too much on the character, but adding like this little bit of extra glow on top, I think. Take it out of the darks here. I think that would actually help out a lot. Yeah. It's coming along really nicely though, man. Really, really good job. All right. Last up we have Alfredo. So, really cool reference here from Love, Death, and Robots. We get a lot of reference from that show. It's justified. It's it's got such a cool aesthetic. So some of the things that I'm seeing in here, just out of the gate, I love the look of these police lights. I love the darkness in the foreground versus the aerial perspective. It changes pretty quickly. I love all of these like small detail shapes. I love the specularity in these dark areas, especially on the rain, a little bit on that dumpster question mark. I'm not quite sure what that is, but I love that. I love some of the reflections that we're getting on the street, and I think that's all looking really good. I think for you here, I think the biggest thing I would really work on is the amount of detail. Let's see, going back into the space here. So like, I think we can get more darkness in the foreground, and then I just, it might be tough with the set. We might have to like double the set up, like we put one after the other. But I want more darkness to exist further out, and then it kind of go into this, so we can pick up some more of the detail. Additionally, it's this reference versus the set. Yeah, we might just have to add in some more props in some of these, like on the street specifically, to kind of break it up a little bit. And then notice the variation in the specularity in the buildings as we go up. It is brighter as we get to the top, just because there's a little bit less light blocking it. And I would add in more of these. I would just like duplicate these wires and send them further back into space there, which is like further back into space there, and make them continue on, because there's something really nice about that aesthetic quality as well. In terms of the lights on the car, I think what we're seeing here is really nice. Just this kind of like super. I think we can get a small bit of kind of a super bright red in there, in the middle of these headlights or something, just to kind of like really connect this in there. Because I like the kind of haze that's going on, but I think that adding just like a little bit, make that brighter. I think I might have deleted too much, but you get the idea that like it's just getting that like little bit of tight brightness, and then it kind of flares out or hazes out from there. Road's looking better. Yeah, I just love this top-down shaping. Again, darker towards the bottom and lighter as we go up. I would really work that in too. So it would just be a matter of like everything down here gets a little bit darker. Actually, I probably drew that too low, but just to give you the idea. But just to get some of that darkness down there. But yeah, really cool shot. Do you guys have any thoughts on this one? Yeah, good stuff all around. It's just more detail, more variation top to bottom. Adding those wires as they go back, and really kind of, I like I said, just really focus in on the black. Sorry, wrong way. The black points where they start to go off, some of the detail in there, and then like really kind of nailing the police lights there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's kind of I know Kat's seen more of it than I have. I've watched the first season. Each episode's kind of its own take in this. I don't know if it's post-apocalyptic, but like near future world of like with like a combination of robots, real people. Like it's kind of like a Black Mirror but animated. Yeah. Yeah, because I don't the way they look right now. The same thing with this headlight. I don't buy that they're glowing yet. It's gonna be tough to get it just out of this, but yeah, like I don't feel like they're emitting light yet. Like they feel pretty even. So I think like we're not seeing the light kind of spill out and having that same central tight bulb feel of just like that tight brightness. That's a great call. But yeah, like having that punch through the haze will be really cool. All right, great. I don't think there's not that many chipper ones out there, but we'll see. Yeah. This one's just sad. All right, cool. All right, great, everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining in today, and I look forward to hearing from you all very soon. All right, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, everyone. All right, take care. Bye, y'all.